Good morning, students. In this session, today we are going to see Economics Unit 1. Economics and Introduction. First, let's see what is meant by economics. Economics is one of the most important fields in the world. Students, do you like money? Yes, of course, all like money. Well, then you also like economics also. Economics is not only the study of money, it is also the study of all things that have to do with money, like what causes people to buy things, how business can set themselves up to profitable, and how people behave when it comes to money. Okay, students, listen carefully. Make a note of each and every important points in your social classwork note. If you have any doubt, make a note of it. Doubts will be clarified on the reopening day. Okay, now let's begin today's lesson with the conversation. Do you know from where do we get all the foods? Yes, the rice pulses we eat, we buy them from shops. Okay, good. Now tell me, where do the shopkeepers get these things from? They should buy them from another shop or buy them from those who grow crops. We call those people who raise crops as farmers. Students, farming is the main occupation in villages. The farmers grow various crops like pulses, grains, vegetables, etc. and send them to the shops in cities. We buy and consume them. Students, in village you have seen people selling all kinds of things in a place. In a village, once in a week or month, all things are sold in a particular place at a specific time to meet the needs of the people. That is called Sandai. In a village, once in a week or month, all things are sold in a particular place at a specific time to meet the needs of the people. That is called Sandai. Students, do you know what activities are carried out in a Sunday? Yes, buying and selling. Now let's see what is meant by consumer goods. The finished goods which are bought from the market to fulfill the daily needs of the consumers is called consumer goods. It is nothing but the products bought for consumption by the average consumer. The example of consumer goods are clothing, food and jewelry are all examples of consumer goods. Small traders and other people buy things only from Sunday only. Students, do you know in olden days we had a system of exchanging goods for other goods called barter system. For example, they exchange a bag of rice for enough cloths. A system of exchanging goods for other goods called barter system. Students, note it carefully. A system of exchanging goods for other goods called barter system. Students, barter system is nothing but it is a system under which goods and services are exchanged instead of currency. For example, a person who has rice in surplus and a person who has cloth in surplus will exchange on their basics of their needs. It is nothing but who has excess amount of rice and excess amount of cloth, they will exchange on the basis of their needs. But here the problem is that the person who has cloths should have the willingness to buy rice. Only then the exchange through barter system will take place. When they exchange commodities, they may lead to certain problems when comparing the difference in the value of commodity. To solve this problem only, people invented a tool called money. Students, you know that early man who hunted and gathered food later learned to cultivate crops. And when they found rivers which provided them water, settled down permanently near the rivers. When they found rivers, they settled down permanently near the rivers. These permanent settlements were called villages. And those who involved in farming and grazing are called farmers or cultivators. Students, those who involved in farming and grazing are called farmers or cultivators. Students, even today, agriculture remains to be the root of our economy. Man has no limits for his demand and desire. Based on this, man started to learn new occupations. Students, agriculture and industries are helpful in the economic development of our country. Our country's economy is based on three economic activities: primary activities, secondary activities, and tertiary activities. Students, people in society are engaged in various economic activities. Some produce goods, whereas some produce services. In order to understand these activities, people are divided into groups. These groups are called activities or sector. First, let's see about primary activities. Primary activities. They are concerned with the production of raw materials for foodstuff and industrial use. Those occupations which are closely related to man's natural environment: hunting, fishing, lumbering, animal rearing, farming, and mining are important examples of primary activity. This sector is also called agricultural and related sector. Primary activities include what? Yes, agriculture, cattle rearing, fishing, mining, and collection of fruits, nuts, honey, rubber, resin, medicinal herbs, and lumbering. Students, Mahatma Gandhi once said, "The future of India lies in its villages. Villages are the backbone of our country." According to Gandhiji, villages are self-sufficient units. He believed that peace and non-violence exist in India. Villages are the backbone of India because most of the food crops are in villages only. Agriculture is a primary occupation. They get basic needs. From chilies to mustard, all those provisions used for food are grown in villages only. Students, there won't be any kind of facilities like our cities, and at the same time they get their basic needs fulfilled easily. They are Students, there won't be any kind of facilities like our cities. At the same time, they get their basic needs fulfilled easily. There are small shops, vegetables are grown like rice and pulses. Students, you all will think that the villagers must be so wealthy. No, not like that. Just they are producers. Their products are bought and sold by some mediators. So the farmers get very little money. Students, till now we have seen about the beauty and nature of villages. Now let's see the importance of cities. More than 50% of the world's population live in cities. Employment opportunities are more in cities than villages. In cities, the number of small scale industries and unorganized sector are mostly found in cities. This results in additional income in cities. Students, now let's see briefly about the difference between city and villages. A city is an important center of commerce and culture also. Villages are small groups of human settlements of permanent residences. A city will be large enough to cover a wide area of land, but a village will cover only a small area of land. For example, as per the census of India, a settlement having a population of 4 million and above is designated as a city. But as per the census of India, a village must satisfy the following criteria. It should have a minimum population of 5,000 and 75% of the male working population must be engaged in non-agricultural activities. Students, in villages there are only a few saloons and laundry shops, but in cities the number of such small scale workers are more. Now let's see about secondary activities. The raw materials obtained from the primary activities are converted into finished products through machinery on a large scale. The occupation which produce finished goods by using the product of primary activity are included in secondary activity. For example, manufacturing of cloth from cotton, sugar from sugarcane, and steel from iron ore. This sector is related to industries and hence called be a secondary sector. Industries are classified on the basis of the availability. See, agro-based industries. For example, cotton textiles, sugar mills and food processing. Forest-based industries, paper mills, furniture making, building materials. Mineral-based industries, cement, iron, aluminium industries. Marine-based industries, seafood processing. In cities, paved roads, ports, airports, and railway stations support trade. Banks help in the circulation of money and boost the country's economy. All these are termed as a tertiary activities. At last, let's see about tertiary activities. Industries produce goods and distribute them to the people. For this purpose, some services are required. These services are called tertiary activities or service sectors. Students, these are activities that help in the development of primary and secondary sector. They do not produce a good, but they are an aid or a support for the production process. Since these activities generate service rather than the goods, they are called service sector. The service sector serves the people to fulfill their daily needs. For example, transport, roadways, railways, waterways, and airways. Communication, post, telephone, information technology, etc. Trade, procurement of goods and selling. Banking, money transaction, banking services. Students, now you all understood the meaning of Sandai and get a clear idea about the barter system and also gain knowledge of the various kinds of occupation in cities and village. Now let's see what is primary, secondary and tertiary activities and how they are interrelated. People are engaged in various economic activities within the economy. There are several ways to group them: primary, secondary, tertiary, that is, organized, unorganized, and public or private sectors. These groups are called sectors. Students, there are many activities that are undertaken by directly using natural resources. For example, the cultivation of cotton. Cotton production depends mainly on natural factors like rainfall, sunshine, and climate. So, cotton is a natural product. Similarly, in case of activities like sugarcane and the product of milk. The product of milk is a natural product. Minerals and ores are also natural products. When we produce a good by exploiting natural resources, it is an activity of the primary sector. This sector is also called agriculture and related sector. Secondary sector. This sector covers activities in which natural products are changed into other forms through ways of manufacturing that we associate with industrial activity. Students, it is the next step after primary. The product is not produced by nature but has to made, and therefore some process of manufacturing is essential. This could be in a factory, a workshop, or home. For example, using cotton fiber from a plant, we spin yarn and weave cloth. Using sugarcane as a raw material, we make sugar or gur. Since this sector gradually became associated with the different kinds of industries that came up, it is also called as industrial sector. Tertiary sector. After primary and secondary, there is a third category of activities that falls under tertiary sector. These activities help in the development of the primary and secondary sectors. But these activities by themselves do not produce a good, but they are an aid for the production process. For example, the goods that are produced in the primary or secondary sector would need to be transported by trucks or trains and then sold in a wholesale and retail shops. Since these activities generate services rather than goods, the tertiary sector is also called the service sector. Students, tertiary sector is also known as service sector. Students, now you all clear know that the various economic activities through grouped into three different categories, that is primary, secondary and tertiary. Now let's see today's activity. Students, write the currency and symbol of countries: Germany, Brazil, India, Argentina, China.